Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome from wherever you're joining today. My name is Susan, and I am joined by Dexibit founder Angie Judge. Welcome, Angie.
Hi, Susan. Hi, everyone.
Today, we are going to be talking all about managing dashboard access in Dexibit. But to begin with, I'll take you through a very quick intro to Dexibit for anyone that might be new here. So if you're new to Dexibit, we do data analytics specifically for visitor attractions. This is for both cultural and commercial organizations. Our mission is to democratize data, and we do that by bringing together all sorts of data from around the visitor's experience in your venue's operations. So things like footfall, ticketing, CRM, point of sale, e-commerce, social web, weather, and so much more. So I'll go ahead and share my screen now to show you what that looks like in the product. So here's Dexibit. It is software as a service, so you can invite as many users as you'd like. And you can build dashboards, reports, insights, and forecasts, which you can then turn into scheduled email reports at a click of a button. And in Dexibit, we have an extensive library of visualizations. To add one to your dashboard, you can simply search for the topic you're looking for and click Add to add it in. And this is an example dashboard, so you can see lots of different data coming together in these visualizations to get everything from very high-level data right down through to the very detailed data. So that was a quick overview of what Dexibit looks like, and I'll hand it over to Angie now. And perhaps Angie can kick us off with telling us about who can edit a dashboard.
Cool. Thanks, Susan. Yeah, so when it comes to dashboards, when you create a dashboard in Dexibit, only you can see that and only you can control it. But if you choose to share it, you can now choose who's got ownership, who's got control to make changes, to edit, and you can also choose who can see it. So that's what we're going to look at today. If somebody has shared a dashboard with you, likewise, they'll be in charge of deciding whether you have got the opportunity to control that dashboard and own it or edit it, or whether you can just see it. So we'll take a look at that today and we'll recap all of the different ways of sharing data in Dexibit as well. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Let's come back to that dashboard that Susan was looking at before, and we'll work from there. So when you create a dashboard in Dexibit, by default, as we talked about before, only you will see it and you will by default be the owner. So you can see up here for a start that there's a little badge here that says that I am the owner of this dashboard. And you can see that it's unlocked because I can do whatever I want here. Now, if I was viewing a dashboard that I'm not the owner of, let's take a look at something else here. What have we got? Something like this loyalty overview. You can see that it's coming up to say that I have only view-only access to this dashboard. And so this is locked. I can't make any changes to it, but I can actually make a copy of this dashboard, and that would effectively create a whole new dashboard, at which point I can go forth and conquer and make any changes or edits that I like. And when I'm on a particular visualization, when I click on that visualization, you can see that I have the transparency to see all of the sort of toolbox settings, but you can see that they're grayed out. I don't have the ability to make any changes here until I go ahead and make a copy. The other thing that we've introduced recently, just while we're here, is the idea of presence to see who is active on a dashboard at any given time. This is really important if you and your team members are all making changes at the same time so that you can sort of see who's doing what and where, and also helpful just to see who's looking at this at any point in time. So if anybody else is accessing this dashboard, you'll see their initials pop up here. So I am today Art Vandelay. If somebody else was present, say if Susan was also using this dashboard, I would see Susan's initials, SN, show up here next to mine. And if Susan had edit permission on my dashboard as well, I would see little badges come up here on the bottom left as Susan makes any changes, just to let me know that Susan is making changes, and it would prompt me to refresh to see the newest version of those. So let's go back to where we were. What were we? Executive group review. While we're here, you can see that there's a number of different little icons here pointing to what's happening with this dashboard and its sharing. You can see that this one is being shared with others. You can see that it's also got a scheduled report set against it, and it's embedded somewhere. So it's embedded in like an intranet site. So to have a look at some of those options, we can come in here and view the email schedule. So I clicked on the dot, dot, dot menu, view email schedule, and you can see that Jackie is receiving a copy of this. And I could click to edit and make some changes about who and when and how often. And if I click on the share icon, then we can see who's got access. So these are some recent changes that we've made to Dexibit. For a start, we've put in a quick handy copy to link, so you can grab that URL and share it to a friend. You can also do the same just by clicking on this little hyperlink button to do that from your dashboard. And then I've got the option to choose any particular users or groups, like maybe the finance team. Oh, they're already there, aren't they? So I can choose, let's pop Susan on this dashboard. Here we go. And I can choose whether Susan should be just a viewer, so she could only look at the dashboard, can't make any changes. Whether I want to make her an editor, at which point Susan will be able to make changes to the look and feel of the dashboard, add visualizations, take them away, move them around, do anything that's going to actually change the dashboard itself. Or whether Susan might be an owner like me, and at that point, Susan will be able to add other users to look at the dashboard and potentially set schedules on it for publishing it, and also be able to delete it. So that will give her full control. And I can do this as well with groups. So let's pause here for a second and just jump in and have a look at what a group is. Under the admin screen, we've got accounts, locations, users, and then our groups. And we can here create groups at the top right-hand corner, give it a name, choose who the users are going to be in that group, and then obviously edit and manage these groups here as well. And this is a great way to manage the users who will have access to your dashboard, because I can choose, like, my finance group or my leadership group can own or edit or view. And choosing a group to own a dashboard is actually a really super effective way of managing permissions, because first of all, I don't have to set this dashboard by dashboard with every single person. But secondly, rather than like if Jackie Charles here is my owner, my co-owner of my dashboard, and Jackie left and resigned, then I might end up with sort of these dead hanging dashboards with no owner, which can be annoying. So instead, by managing it within a group, the dashboard sort of has a better lifespan over the course of changes to the team. So it's a lot easier to sort of manage that at scale across many people and many dashboards and many teams, but also just more sustainable over time. So we would suggest, particularly for your big major shared dashboards, make up groups and make group the owners. The only thing to watch out for this is that any of your account administrators within Dexibit can control who is a member of a group. So just note that by making a group the owner, you're effectively leaving it up to your account administrators to think about who's in that, or with the privilege to or permission to be able to add people into that group. So the only thing to watch there, for example, if you have an executive leadership team, and you've got some dashboards, maybe with some confidential narrative in there, a sensitive narrative in there, and you've got an account administrator who's maybe your system administrator from IT, that you might not want to be privy to all of that discussion. So that's how to share between them. Lots of functionality there for then deciding. So you've got your account user privileges in Dexibit, so your general user versus your account administrator. You've got your ability to manage groups, and then you've got your ability to manage who can see and who can do what with permissions in an individual dashboard. So lots of different ways to manage for control there. And to take that one level further, if you have a multi-tenanted account, so for example, you've got a parent account like I've got here, Antarctica Enterprises, and then I've got sort of sub-accounts of that, like the Antarctic Institute, for example. I've got the ability to manage users at those different levels as well. So heaps of different options for controlling that. And just to recap a couple of other things that we already had in here, a little while ago we released our embedding function. So this allows you to embed a table, a visualization, or an entire dashboard into another application. I've got this turned on for this dashboard. You can restrict access, really important step to take for security to make sure only sites under your domain have that control. So I can copy across this code and I can make some changes to how that looks here. And then of course we looked at our email schedule here. So let's just pop into that. I've got the ability to, again, choose who is going to be able to receive this, give it a subject, and then choose sort of how that email schedule is going to be managed. So I've got this particular one going out to Jackie Monday to Friday at 8 a.m. and this time zone will update to your local user time. So that is everything you need to know on how to share and create controls in Dexibit when it comes to sharing dashboards.
Thanks, Angie. We've got a question here, and that's, I'm not an editor, but I want to play with the data in a dashboard just for my own use. How can I do this?
Yeah, so that's where you'd be in this scenario. Where were we? Let's go back to that loyalty one. So you'd be in this scenario where you're not an editor, so you've only got that view. So you want to make a copy. So you can just click the hyperlink there, or you can make a copy by just going ... and clicking make a copy. Let's do that. And now you can see we've got the same dashboard. Everything's exactly the same, except it now says copy. So this is my copy of the loyalty dash. And now I've got edit access. You can see all of that's opened up for me now. That was previously grayed out. So I've now got full access to do whatever I want to do. And you can see now I own this dashboard. So it's not the same one that everybody else was looking at, but it's a version of it that I can play with. Nice and safe.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking us through that, Angie. And thank you to everyone who's joined today. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Thanks, Susan.